we're going to learn about the love of Lo Sachmod. It says in Aseret Adibra, so it's as we know, Aseret Adibra, it's a major mitzvah. It says over there, like Reb Sadia Gaon says, all the Tariq mitzvahs are the branches of Aseret Adibra. So it's interesting. In Parshas Yisro, it says, Lo Sachmod beis re'echo, Lo Sachmod eshes re'echo, Avdoi, that's the end of Aseret Adibra. If we look in Parshas V'eschanan, there's a little change on this. There's so many changes, but one of the changes over here, it says like this: Lo sachmod eshes re'echo, v'lo sisave beis re'echo. Don't say the word sachmod and the home of your friends as v'lo sisave, loshan taiva. So if there is any difference over here, or just another word for lo sachmod. So interesting. The way la halacha lamaisa, the way the poskim bring this halacha lamaisa, that's two lavim. There's one loy sachmod, and there is a lav of loy sisave, and how we'll see how it works, and what the definition of chemda, what the definition of taiva. So it's interesting in the Gemara and Bob Mitzia Daf Hey Amud Beis, the Gemara says like this. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but just the punchline. The Gemara says, Lo sachmod leinshe below domi mashma lahu. People think Lo sachmod meaning, if I don't pay for it, I grab something doesn't belong to me because I like it, that mashma, only then I'm over at Lo sachmod. But if I paid for it, let's say somebody has something I like and I convince him to sell it to me, they feel if I paid for it, I'm not over Lo sachmod. That's how people think, but that's not the halacha. That's the halacha is, if you convince somebody, as we're going to see now, to sell you something that he doesn't want to sell, you over on Lo sachmod, even you paid for it. That's why Aruch HaShulchan says when you need to buy something, you should go to a store, because if you can go to somebody, he should sell you his house, his car, and he wasn't for sale, even you convince him to sell it to you, you might be over Lo sachmod. Here's I'm learning from Shulchan Aruch, Choshen Mishpat, Siman Shin Nun Tes Halacha Tes. Hakoife es chaveiroi limkor es shaloi. You forcing your friend to sell something belongs to him. You're paying him for it. Even you pay the full price for it. It says osur. Aval elodin gazlan liposol midaraisa. There's a lot of psulim that posol edus says it's not a gazlan to be posol midaraisa. Ela midrabonon k'mashen isboer. He's posol midrabonon. Not because it's not over an isur daraisa. No, most learning. Here the Miras Tanaim, he says, Pirush Avdu over Belavdo Lo Sachmod, he is over on Lavdo Raisa Lo Sachmod, but he says, Mikolmokim Ena Nifsel Edus Velashua, why? That's what the Gemara mentioned. The Lo Sachmod Leinche Belodomi Mashmelu. It's not such a big Rasha because in the perception of people, he thinks he's not doing an Isur, because he thinks I paid for it, but mainly it's not possible midarais, only midrabonon is possible. But the isur is there, it's isur deraisa. Again, the lasachmod, the definition of lasachmod, when you convince somebody to sell you something was not for sale, and you pay for it, it's lasachmod. You ever on lasachmod. So again, like I said, the best thing is go to a store to buy something, it's for sale. You're not over lasachmod. Now we're going to lead some of the halachas, we're going to see when it's losisava and it's losachmod. So the next halach could continue al losachmod. Kol achoymed avdoi or amosoi or beiso or kelov shel chaveiroi or kol dover she'efsher sheyikneu memeno. People sell things that's possible is going to be for sale, but it's not for sale yet. V'hichbid olav reim. Forcing doesn't mean you're holding a gun over his head. Forcing means you send friends to talk to him, or you talk to him. V'hiftir boy, and you talk him into it. Acha lokchu memeno. You mean you paid for it, but you took it. Hareze oiver below sachmod. Now, this adkan, it's Isur, what says in Parshas Yisrael Sachmod. Now he goes to the Parshas V'eschanan. Kol misave beisa. That's not mentioned in the first Dibros. It's only mentioned in Parshas V'eschanan. Kol misave beisa o ishtoi v'kelov shel chaveira. V'chol kayotzo b'zeh. Kevan shechoshav b'liboy ech yikne dover zeh. v'nifta b'liboy b'dover, over b'lo sase, shel lo sisave, v'entave lo b'le bilvad. Meaning this, taiva, it's an isur, you didn't buy it, you wanted to buy it. You didn't buy it, you wanted to buy it, and you're thinking, how am I going to make him, what are you going to make? Somebody's wife, or you should divorce him? You didn't do it anything, but you're thinking of how to get him to sell his house, to sell his car, to sell his safer to me. You're thinking of it. You didn't do anything. Allah Sachmad, you're not over till you buy it. Allah Sisava, you're over the minute you taught how to do it. Now, Lamaisa Aruch HaShulchan emphasized, Stam Taiva, I like his car, that's you're not over anything. You're not, it's nothing practical. It's just you have a taiva for it. That's you're not over. You like his house. I like it, but I'm not doing any tachbulas together. Then you're not over on any isur. There's no isur. The isur lasachmod, when you did something and you lamaisa bought it, something was not for sale. You convince him to sell it to you. You over lasachmod lasisave. You won, and you're thinking how to make him to do it, to sell it to you. Even you didn't buy it yet. You over on loisisave. So like this. HaTaiva meiveli de chimud. So the first stage of Taiva v'chemda, its first stage is Taiva. Taiva first you want it, sometimes you don't get it, but that could bring lidei chimud, meaning when you buy it. V'chimud meiveli de getzel. Shim lo rotzu habaylim limkoir, aval b'shir bo loim bedomim, vivser bereim. If let's say he didn't want to sell it to you at the end, you're offering him a high price for that product, and he doesn't want to sell it to you. Yoveli de gezel, shenemar v'chomdu botim v'gozlo. Sometimes you could come to gezel because the guy don't want to sell it to you. Sometimes you're gonna take it begezel. V'im omdu abalim b'hem lahatzil mamoinom omanu miligzel. If they stood up, they didn't want them to take it away without the pay. Yoveli de shfichus domim tzeu l'mad me'maise achov v'novois. Novois Israeli and Achov. Well, that was the Maisa over there, which is, by the way, related to our Parsha, because then Eliyahu HaNovi, which is Pinchas, was the Novi. He saw a lot of times Achav to rebuke him. Anyway, so what broke the back of the camel over there with Achav was a big Russia. It was what they did with Novos Israel. He wanted to buy his property. He was a neighboring to the king Achav. And Achav and Novos Israeli didn't want to sell it to him. At the end, he ended up killing him and taking it. And that was the punchline when Hashem decided to kill Achav. The next time he went to the war with Syria, and they killed him over there. Anyway, so you see from here, it starts with Taiva. I like his property. Then Chemda, I'm offering him money. Then if you don't want it, I'm going to take it like Achav. It could happen to anybody. And then it could bring Chazon to Gedel Shfichus Domim. Holamata. Shamisave oiver belav echad. If you just want it, not if you like it. No, that's not over and klum. Misav meaning you thinking how to make him to sell it to you. You already over on love of Taiva. Then he says, V'akoin dover she's ava. Then you went to the next stage. You already convinced him to sell it to you, paid for it. Then you over on also on Chemda. He says, Shataiva behefta shifte b'em over bebeis lavin. Yeah. Then if you buy something, you had a taiva, you have a best lavin. The gachner lo sachmod v'lo sisave. That's why in the Parsha Sisra says lo sachmod. And when you convince him to sell it, you bought it. That's lo sachmod. But the first stage of Parsha Veschan, the first stage of the avera, that's taiva. It goes all over begimin lavin. Anyway, so we see from here Halacha lamaisa. Wanting something somebody has just because you like it. I like to have such a car. I like to have such a house. I like to have such a sefer. You're not over on anything. That's allowed to, because you're not making any tachbulas to buy it. If you're starting off tachbulas, how am I going to get it from him? Without paying him even. You over losisave, and if you already bought it from him and it was not for sale, you convince him to sell it to you. You over on loy sachmod.